Humming to myself, I stood up, leaned over the railing of the bridge, and gazed out over the water. The solitude of the moment enveloped me, and I closed my eyes and tilted my head toward the hot sun. It was a glorious, sparkling afternoon, and the heat lulled me almost into a state of relaxation. Almost. Goosebumps formed on my arms, and the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. Someone was watching me. I resisted the urge to whip around and hit the intruder with the pepper spray jammed in my pocket. I remembered Iz's words and kept still. "Don't make eye contact with anyone," she had said. For once, I decided, I would pause before reacting. "Look at me, Iz. I'm listening to your instructions and not causing trouble." I sensed the person, or whatever it was, approaching me. My hands rested on the concrete railing and sweat beaded on my back, but I remained perfectly still. I smelled the familiar and comforting scent of musk and forest, and all at once my breathing steadied and my heart rate slowed. I was not in danger. "Michael?" I whispered his name.
"Shh."
I heard him breathe. I could feel him behind me now, but I didn't turn around. "How did you get away?" I heard his shirt rustle and imagined the shrug he gave, though I still hadn't seen him.
"They don't know everything about me,"
he said.
"I moved fast and climbed and jumped."
I took a deep breath and glanced toward the middle of the bridge. Iz and Ben stood deep in conversation, and neither of them had noticed I was talking to Michael. At least this time it wasn't my fault. He came to me. I wasn't a strong enough witch to control a Canadian. Not yet. His arms came across my waist, slowly at first, and then his grip tightened. I leaned back against him, my back resting on his firm chest, and let my head rest on him. "I miss you," I murmured. "Everything is so shitty."
"I know,"
he whispered back. He kissed the top of my shoulder and nuzzled his face into my neck.
"We'll fix it."
"What if we can't?"
"We will."
He stood up straight, and I turned to face him. It had only been 3 days, but it felt like years. I put my hand up to his cheek and ran my thumb along the tiny lines at the corner of his eye. He smiled at the familiar caress, took my hand in his, and kissed my palm.
"We have to be patient."
"I just got you back." My voice caught in my throat. "And now all this?" He leaned in to kiss me. I pulled back. "We really shouldn't. Iz will lose her mind." The corner of his mouth twitched.
"Ben, too."
Suddenly he laughed quietly, and the sound was so comforting, so delicious, so Michael, that I couldn't help but grin. We tried to hold it in, but the harder we tried to suppress it, the worse it became. Our hysterics erupted out of us, and within seconds we were howling. He put his fingers over my lips to quiet me, and the sensation of his skin on my mouth was too much. I pulled him close and pressed my lips against his. The sensation was immediately electric. My whole body turned molten in his arms. But almost instantly, I sensed the change around us. A stillness had settled over the bridge, a heavy quiet. We pulled back and looked at each other, and I could see fear in his eyes. Without speaking, we turned our heads toward the dense vegetation that lined the river, and to my astonishment, a large white-tailed deer walked onto the bridge. Both Michael and I held our breath and watched the magnificent creature lift her hoofs daintily and step toward us. Erect, she stood a solid 4 feet and looked to be an easy 300 pounds. Fierce and beautiful. She was magnificent. Michael's arms were still around my waist, and now his palms spread wide across my back. Whether that was to communicate his awe or to stop me from trying to pet her, I will never know, because the deer lowered her head and charged forward.